Developing tonight in Fayetteville, a jury finds Jason Dunnigan guilty in the murder of his wife Amber in May of 2021. Jurors read the verdict this afternoon, then sentenced Dunnigan to life in prison. Multiple witnesses were called to during the trial, including a deputy with the Washington County Sheriff's Office, 3 Arkansas State Troopers. Prosecutors also presented digital evidence from Dunnigan's car showing he was driving nearly 90 miles per hour in a 40 zone as he left the area where Amber was killed. You can read more about the testimony and view all of our coverage from the 2-day trial for free on our 5 News smartphone app. Well, Arkansas State Senator Brian King raises concerns alongside the family of late Senator Gary Stubblefield, objecting to the timing of the special election for Senate District 26.
5 News reporter Claire Everbach joining us now in the studio, explaining why they felt that should happen a lot sooner. Claire?
Yes, Morgan, Darren, this comes after Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders has already changed the special election to fill the vacant seat once. She originally announced the date for November 3rd, 2026, but has since moved it up to June 9th. But state lawmakers say even with the new date, the election still comes after the legislature's 2026 fiscal session in April. That means Senate District 26 will be without representation during budget decisions that could impact their district.
Senator Brian King says the decision to move the general election to June means District 26 won't have a voice during one of the most crucial times of government, the fiscal session.
This attempt to have the special election after the budget session will impact not just the prison issue, but it will also impact the budget session. They will have no representation during the budget session.
King says this isn't just a matter of timing, but a matter of right and wrong.
While we're here today, if you look at this situation of even moving back this special election to June, you're basically allowing stolen representation. You're trying to steal representation from the people in that Senate district at one of the most crucial times of our state government.
He says the proposed prison in Franklin County is an example of why this matter is urgent.
His district and mine, being close enough, could be the most impacted from the mega prison and impact them for decades. And all of a sudden, this governor believes that they should not have representation during this crucial time.
And emphasized this change is a form of stealing representation.
Voter fraud, it really is about stealing representation, and this putting off the special election for his seat is about just stealing representation.
Amber Sullivan, the daughter of Senator Stubblefield, stood alongside King and spoke at the press conference. She says her father's seat should not go unfilled for so long.
We're not asking anybody to break the law, but his seat should not go unrepresented for 8 months, 9 months. It shouldn't go 5 months.
Sullivan echoed King's call for a timely election so District 26 has representation before the budget session.
This election should be taking place in January. It could have taken place in November, but for some reason they continue to put it off. And all we are asking is for accountability for those people that he was passionate about. And that's all that we ask, as for this election not to be continued to be pushed back.
5 News also reached out to the governor's office, who released this statement saying holding the primary for District 26 on the statewide primary date and holding the special election on the soonest possible date afterward saves taxpayer dollars and ensures the election is free, fair, and secure. Claire Everbach, 5 News.
All right, Claire, thanks. Democrats and Republicans remain in a stalemate tonight over how to keep the government funded and avoid a shutdown. The deadline, 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, the Senate plans to bring up a House-passed bill for another vote at some point tonight that extends federal funding at its current level until mid-November. Democrats, though, are demanding the bill include an extension of Affordable Care Act benefits expiring this year and reverses cuts to Medicaid.
But any agreement must be bipartisan in nature, and it's got to meet the needs of the American people in terms of their health, safety, and economic well-being. Any spending agreement that by necessity has to be bipartisan in nature, has to actually improve the quality of life of the American people.
Government shutdown would mean non-essential government services would be disrupted and thousands of federal workers could be furloughed. The White House also threatening mass firings at some federal agencies if no deal is reached. If the government does shut down, the impact may be felt at airports all across the country. More than 58,000 TSA employees and 13,000 air traffic controllers would be working without pay. Chris Van Cleve is at Denver's airport with more now on what flyers and airport workers can expect.
We don't expect major disruptions tomorrow or the rest of this week if people show up at an airport like here in Denver. But if this shutdown is measured in weeks, not days, or stretches even longer than that, that's when we need to prepare for the potential of disruptions and delays. And I'm basing that off what we saw play out back in 2018 when we had a 35-day shutdown starting in December. As soon as that first missed paycheck, so think about 2 weeks in, we started to see sick calls from TSA officers really increase at airports across the country. That led to longer lines of checkpoints, so it took people longer to get through security. Some checkpoints had to be closed, and in one case in Miami, they even had to close an entire terminal because there weren't enough TSA officers to staff it. Now, TSA officers are not high-paid government workers, so missing a paycheck can have a profound impact. Air traffic controllers would also work without pay, and in January of 2019, air traffic control sick calls resulted in significant flight disruptions in the New York City area shortly before the shutdown ended. There is a shortage of air traffic controllers. During a shutdown, hiring and training of new hires generally stops. That would slow efforts to get more controllers on the job quickly. Amtrak should operate normally because while it receives federal funds, it is operated as an independent entity. Travelers heading to national parks, they're likely to be in for a disappointment. Most national parks will close to the public during a shutdown. The U.S. Travel Association estimates the cost of a government shutdown to the U.S. travel economy to be around $1 billion a week. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Denver.
And we just found out that the vote in the Senate on that plan to continue till mid-November has failed. It failed just moments ago. We'll, of course, continue following updates from Capitol Hill and bring you any developments if a deal is reached to avoid that shutdown before midnight tonight on your 5 News at 10.
Well, a new Skyline report is out tonight, and it shows Northwest Arkansas's housing market continuing to grow at a rapid pace. The report shows home sales are strong, with prices continuing to climb in both Benton and Washington counties. More than a third of homes sold were new builds. Demand for apartments also remains high. New units are filling quickly, and rent is up. The report also raises questions about the future, pointing to infrastructure as a challenge for communities trying to keep up with this growth.
The long-term prospects for our growth still do depend on our ability to deliver infrastructure in a timely manner so that we can, continue to house the people that want to live here and work here in Northwest Arkansas.
He says in the next few years, cities will need to address challenges to infrastructure like water and sewer to support sustainable growth.